Hello, this is Mr. Martin. These notes are for Chapter 07, actually. We're going to continue talking about transformations. So let's take a look at some quick notes. We've got three types of rigid transformations. Okay, number one, we have translations. Okay, and basically this is just a shift somewhere on the coordinate plane. And number two, we have reflections. And this is basically a flip. And number three, we have rotations. And usually this is just called a turn, a number of degrees. So maybe we'll look at a 90-degree rotation or a 180-degree rotation. All right, so these are our basic rigid transformations, meaning the size or shape isn't going to change. So let's take a look at if we have a sequence of one or more transformations that take a pre-image, this is our original, to an image. This is our final spot. Okay, so when we do this, the notation that we're going to use, and this is going to be important, so let's say we have triangle ABC and we perform some transformations to it. Now it becomes triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay? And then if we did some transformations to that one to get a third triangle, we would call that triangle, that's our triangle symbol, A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. Okay, so that's just the notation. And then keep in mind that the pre-image is the original and the image is its final spot. All right, so let's take a look at some examples now. We have right triangle ABC is reflected over AB and then rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. So counterclockwise is going to be this way, opposite to the clock, around point B. Draw triangle ABC after these transformations. So if we reflect it over AB, so here's AB, and we're going to flip it over that, so it's going to flip over to here. Okay. Then we're going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So if I had some room, I would just rotate it right about this point here, but I'm going to redraw it next to it. So now if I rotate it 90 degrees about that point, it would end up looking like this. And then here's point B prime, and then this would be point A prime, and this would be point C prime. Okay, and really if I had some room here, I would have taken this whole thing and I would have point B over there so that this triangle would be below there. All right, so if you have questions about that, make sure you ask. All right, moving on to the next one. The pre-image and image of an emoji are shown below. Daija claims that this is a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. Remember, counterclockwise goes this way. Do you agree or disagree? Explain. So if we take this original image and we rotate it 90 degrees this way, let's draw a little picture. So the mouth is going to be here, and then the winky eye, it would be over here, and then the open eye would be over here. Okay, so we can see that these are not the same. Okay, so do you agree or disagree? I would say disagree, because the eyes are switched. The open eye should be on top. Okay? All right, so again, anytime you have questions, feel free to pause the video and track someone down to answer your question. All right, and number 3, describe 2 different ways that triangle ABC could be transformed into triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So if you want to give this a shot and pause the video, and then when you restart, we'll have a solution here. So do that if you'd like to, otherwise just keep watching. All right, so here's our original triangle, and we have to come up with 2 different ways to transform this over to ABC. So one way we could do it, method 1, we could reflect over segment AB. So notice the symbol on the top, this is a little preview of things to come, is a segment symbol. So segment AB, so we're talking about the segment that goes from A to B. So that segment there. So if we reflect it, then it's going to flip it over this way. And then if we reflect it again over BC, so reflect, and I'm just going to say reflect horizontally now. Horizontally, that will give us A prime, B prime, C prime. So we're going to flip it vertically. So we'll put vertically in here. And then we'll reflect it or flip it horizontally. So that's method 1. Then method 2, so if we just take this and we rotate it around to there, we could simply do a 180-degree rotation about point B. All right, and it's 2 different methods. Okay, so that's all for this video. Again, if you have questions, make sure you get those answered. You always want to ask yourself if you could do this on a quiz or a test by yourself with no help. And if the answer is yes, you are all set. And if the answer is no, you want to make sure you get your questions answered and do some more practice. And we will see you next time.